All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in game number 1 from our round of 16 match between these two players. One of them spawned down here at the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We have the purple Protoss player from Europe. Another EU versus NA match. Give it up for Welmu.
Go figure. And in the top right, he is representing Canada, Korea, and Elevate Gaming. It is MaSa.
So, right now I think we're sitting, what, 4-1? Europe versus NA?
Yeah.
NA not doing so well. But I mean, we're now watching like one of the best North American players there is.
Yeah. I mean, he did incredibly well at DreamHack. I know even recently, I'm trying to remember what it was else that, what else it was that he did well at.
There was like
I
a
do recall
DreamHack
him
event.
getting a lot of recognition.
There was a DreamHack event, and then there was a, I think it was Valencia. Or wait, is Valencia the one that's coming up? I'm like so mixed up with like which events happened. But I know it was like a DreamHack and an IEM right back to back. It was Austin, and then like I don't even remember. But yeah, he did pretty well there as well. There too, alongside me.
Yeah. Who made it to the finals, of course. And I think one of the big things is that he's getting the recognition finally too, because MaSa's always been really good at the game, and I know he's been kind of like the redheaded stepchild of Root almost, where it's like, oh yeah, I guess MaSa's playing, and they might tweet about it, but no, man, he's starting to really get some results, and I know that I guess maybe because he's not playing as much League of Legends nowadays, but you know, he's actually doing this thing.
He's been replacing with Hearthstone. I remember at DreamHack Austin.
That's the key.
Yeah, I was like at DreamHack Austin. Anytime I saw MaSa sitting around, like in the audience or whatever between these games, I'd be like, "Hey, MaSa, what are you doing?" And he was like sitting there on the iPad. I was like, "I'm playing Hearthstone." I'm like, "Oh, your game's in like 5 minutes." He's like, "Yeah, I have 5 minutes to finish this game." I'm like, "Oh, okay, MaSa, good luck."
You're playing Concede Priest. What are you doing though?
All right, well,
yep. Except not gonna get in there. He tried to though. Does he get any scouting though at all? Does he even see the factory, or does he not even get a glimpse of that?
He doesn't. No, he doesn't see anything. So, for the most part, I think you can kind of just gather general assumptions. Like you see, like okay, there's a reactor on the barracks. Like you got a command center. It looks like it's nothing super duper crazy. And just seeing that many Marines versus like seeing a ton more, you can kind of expect it's not like a 3 racks opening.
Yeah, but I mean it's a little different. Like getting that second barracks and already getting the stim now, while still teching up to that medevac. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Did he get? I was gonna ask when he got his command center, but I unfortunately wasn't seeing exactly. But it's not gonna be like a straight up Widowmine drop or anything like that. I think he's just going straight into bio. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. So
early pressure.
A lot of the time, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head before. A lot of time when you see these kind of like 2 racks openings, the fast 2 racks before the factory actually goes down, what you end up seeing is you see a really fast stim, and then you just kind of move across the map. And it's a very MaSa thing to do because photon overcharges, they are a bit of a resource still, since they cost 50 energy. You can run out of them relatively quickly. You can do some nice pressure, but also the Widowmine drops, I think, as you were saying, like those can be pretty effective too. The Reaper did come in for MaSa. Got to see almost everything for Welmu, but it didn't quite see the Twilight Council being chrono boosting out Blink.
Yeah, he might assume it, but yeah, that does suck that he wasn't able to see it. So it's like he has no idea that there is going to be that tech on the way. So I don't think it really matters to him at the moment. He's probably still going to stick to his plan.
Yeah.
However, I have seen MaSa do something like this before and then chill at home. Like he didn't even hit the timing or anything like that. Like he just kind of was more defensive with it, and I don't know if he's planning to do that this time. And I highly doubt it. MaSa likes to get aggressive, but if he sniffs something out, there he goes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we do have the drops moving across the map, and I think, as you were saying, like it's not going to be necessarily the weirdest thing for Welmu to have been going for Blink. I'm sure MaSa expects that Blink will be research, but there are some sort of mix-up that you can see with the Adepts. I think the big thing for MaSa is just, I haven't seen like a mass of Adepts approaching at my front door, and my Reaper didn't really see, like, it saw the robot facility and everything. You can kind of start to think, okay, I didn't see like a big Adept all in. it's probably a lot of Blink Stalkers out right now. I should be a little bit wary about that. It's a pretty normal thing, I think, for Terrence to be worried about. But he is going to be very far out of position for the Blink Stalkers. At the same time, Welmu's going to be out of position for this drop.
Yeah, I mean, this third base just finished here for Welmu, and he might lose it. However, like you said, here come the Stalkers. They blink him immediately. They even take the Liberator.
That's pretty rough. Losing a lot of these SCVs as well, but at the same time, the third expansion goes down, and now MaSa is going to try and stim his way over to the natural. Right now, Welmu does have the Photon Overcharge available, whereas the Stalkers, I mean, the Stalkers are still getting some good damage done.
Yeah, they're going to be doing so much damage. They're on top of the production. They forced the orbital command to lift up as well, and remember, Welmu's probes are just mining freely at the moment, so, you know, nothing is really being disrupted by him. MaSa is in a bit of trouble right now. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to break this. The Photon Overcharge seems to be too much.
There is no way he's going to be able to break that. All of the Marines, except for one of them, go down. And he's still dealing with the units over at the front. The War Prism is there. He's got a little bit of cute micro to pick those guys up and retreat back to the
workers, man. He's down to 11 at the moment. He's dead, I think. I mean...
He lost his CC, too. No, he didn't lose his CC. He still has his natural expansion CC alive. But yeah, it's so hard to come back from this.
It's incredibly hard to. He got the third base, which is pretty nice here, but as you said, it's incredibly hard to come back from it. I know a lot of people be like, yeah, but Terran, you know, 3 meals, never believe, or always believe,
CC.
Never give up, never surrender, America.
Lift up your command center, float to the corner. No. Tapping out, he says. And Welmu.
Not gonna happen today.
Welmu takes the game.
That he does. EU takes another one.
I know, right? We're sitting, what, 5-1 now? If MaSa can't take games off of Europe, then who the hell can?
Who? Well,
I mean, I will give MaSa...
Honestly, that was really awkward.
Right? Yeah.
They both attacked each other at the same time, and if the Marines dropped into the main, I would have felt a lot better. But canceling the third when you're doing an attack yourself, canceling the third while getting attacked, is not gonna be enough damage for you. Like, you need to get into that mineral line or to the tech like the pylon powering the gateways. Something like maybe getting the mothership core. Like, if he was able to snipe the mothership core.
Yeah.
While Welmu was focused on the attack.
I think, as you were saying, like, dropping, it's not just dropping the main base, it's baiting out the Photon Overcharges at the natural and then moving to the main.
Yep.
And that's sort of the weird thing. The other thing I really, like, you imagine the Liberator that just ended up immediately dying. Like, if he actually keeps that alive and he's able to retreat a lot of his stuff into his main base a bit earlier.
Join off me, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. The Liberator, though, it ends up doing a lot more, I think. Just because you might say, oh, well, the Stalkers just blink under it. But yeah, you hold the Liberator at the top of the ramp, and it's still pretty hard. You use your blink, you're just blinking into the Liberator zone, you're blinking into the Marines and Marauders, and that means you're not blinking back units defensively and keeping them alive. Exactly. So, like, there's a lot of things I think could have gone differently, as well as just having bunkers. Bunkers would have been really, really nice.
I think the issue is that he would only have like 4 Marines, though. It's like the timing.
I think it's about buying time, though, right? Because you keep the bunkers alive, and maybe you're able to, like, get out like another round of Widow Mines. You're able to get out another Liberator or something, and like that's
not getting your production camped.
Yeah. But okay, it looks like we are getting ready to hop into the next game. Game number 2. The map is going to be Dust Towers.
All right.
Ooh.
So
this is already in the round of 16, I think. So let me update the overlay to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Winner of this is all the way at the very bottom of the bracket. But the winner of this will play off versus the winner of Cham versus Volt. So guaranteed to play versus a Zerg.
Hey, I know a little bit about that race.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're hopping into it. We'll see you guys there.
Let's open.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in game number 2. Moving on to the map, Dust Towers for the round of 16 match between these two players. Spawning up here in the top right, we have the purple Protoss player sitting up 1-0 and ready to move on to the round of 8. Give it up for Welmu.
But not if this guy has something to say about it. It is our fellow Canadian / Korean Blue Terran player representing Elevate. It is MaSa.
So So Tempo, something that you get used to talking a lot about when you commentate and just watch a lot of StarCraft is that there are multiple kinds of losses. There are the losses where you just get totally outplayed. There are the losses that are really infuriating. There are the losses of like all sorts of types and descriptions and everything. And I feel like that last game was kind of the loss of like, oh, really? Like I was on the wrong side of the map, like, or you moved out at the same time as me and neither of us really knew that the other one was moving out. Like, okay, like that's
the most important part.
Yeah, I think
the thing that in between all of the losses is that you don't win. I think you should take that to heart.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
I think that there's a really great quote that I heard someone say. It's like, whoever doesn't get first in a tournament, whoever like loses in the finals, the person who gets second place is just the last loser.
Yeah.
It's just the last person to lose.
The last person to lose. Oh, it hurts, but like to an extent it is pretty true. I mean, not only in StarCraft 2, but a lot of the times in other sports, like being number one.
Ladder anxiety, man.
Oof, it's brutal. It's a rough world out there, Fear Dragon. But
yeah, and MaSa's been playing a lot today, so like, it's not just about the fact that MaSa has been playing in all three of the qualifiers now. It's about the fact that you've lost in all three of these qualifiers. Like, people already talk about how much it sucks to kind of lose and get knocked out of a tournament bracket, but to have it happen 2 times already in one day, and now you're 1 game away from losing your last chance to go to IEM Shanghai, like that really does sting.
Yep, it does, and it's almost like, I guess there's a game going on, and it looks to be kind of similar so far here for Welmu with the Blink, or rather with the Twilight and the Robo, and then for MaSa, it's changed up as he's going for that Widowmine drop. But what I was trying to say is, like, I think Puck is a really good example of that, where you don't give up when you keep on losing, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna bounce back and really do it big this time. And then he ended up going and qualifying for the IEM, or rather for the tours, DreamHack tours. You know, obviously he didn't do the greatest there, but it was like that drive to get there that got him there too. Oh
yeah, he fought hard for that as well. But I do want to note, as you were saying, like, this is pretty similar openings to the last game, but this is also a pretty different map, I will say, where it's a little bit harder to kind of have that weird like wraparound where it's like, oh, my opponent moved across the map and I didn't see it because I was moving across the map in like a different pathway. For the most part, it's one sort of general area, and we will end up seeing Welmu just straight up send that observer across the map. If MaSa doesn't scout this out immediately, then I think that Welmu's going to be very well prepared for any sort of drop harassment that Welmu sends, or MaSa sends out at him.
And I think when you send the observer across the map, seeing this means like, okay, is there really a Widowmine coming, or like what's going on here? You know, that the no reactor on the starport is actually just building here on the factory. There has to be something coming in some way, shape, or form, unless there's a hidden command center.
Maybe he doesn't actually. Well, maybe he does now. It's a little bit hard to tell, because my problem is that he doesn't really have any detection in his main base or his natural, and he's actually making a War Prism instead. But well, he does have the Photon Overcharge available. It's just the problem is the Widowmine burrows outside of the range of it.
Oh,
ooh,
he doesn't move it.
Decent hit, 3 kills.
Only 3 hits, 3 kills, but that's still, I mean, pretty decent, I would say, for only 1 Widowmine.
Yeah. And he also sees a lot of the stalkers out right now, so he knows, okay, it's not like a lot of adepts coming out. It's not going to be, again, like another one of those big adept attacks. It's more in the meta right now for like a macro-oriented Protoss playstyle. Just go get up a lot of the Blink stalkers, eventually start getting up some of that other tech. But third expansion is done for Welmu as well.
It is up, and MaSa, I don't even believe he has a 3rd command center, Fear Dragon.
No.
I don't know if it's a very delayed one, or if he's planning to do some kind of crazy attack here. And, you know, when you do something like this, you really have to kill the Protoss or just do critical damage, because it's just been... Okay, there he goes. Just now putting it down.
Yeah,
he
and
needs
Welmu spots that.
Work, man. Yeah. This is like Welmu is so ridiculously ahead economically right now that it's almost like if MaSa doesn't kill the 3rd, or just like get a ridiculous amount of kills on the probes, or obliterate the army, he just... I don't know how you're supposed to actually come back. in a situation like that. So
I think he's really he's invested a lot of those minerals earlier on into, well, first of all, he's got a nice little defense going, so he's going to be able to, for example, take care of that Warp Prism. But we also see that MaSa, he got out Stim. He has like most of the tools he needs to move across the map and get some actual damage done. The third expansion also, I will say, kind of feels pretty light. It's not just the number of units there. The pylon placements.
Pylons, yeah.
It's not exactly going to be super prepared for a big push in at the front.
This is a perfect timing for MaSa to hit. If you look at the production tab, 6 gateways are in production. So Welmu is trying to power right now, you know, as he just gets into his macro mode. But if MaSa can disrupt that before this actually happens, I think this is the kind of hit that he would need to do while getting that third at that time.
He's waiting around though. He's I think he's busy microing this Viking on the left-hand side of the map, killing off the Warp Prism or hunting it down, but he's not moving in. And that means the gateways, as you were saying, it's gonna finish up, and that's where the powerful, like crazy number of units comes out for Welmu.
Yeah. And a big thing you noticed was the pylons. He only has 2 pylons that can really do anything, and he's going in, man. Not gonna get it here. +1/+1 for both, or rather +1 attack for both players. So no upgrade advantages are gonna be here. Combat shield is not done.
But these immortals will absolutely murder any of the marauders that get too far in the front lines. The force fields will make it hard to actually get a good retreat out without picking up in the medevacs. The blink stalkers can also chase down the medevacs.
He's like, yeah, let's just take a 4th, you know, because why not?
There's no reason not to at this point. He has an army to defend it. He does have to be a little bit careful about maybe getting dropped or something, since I really don't think he has a lot of defenses for a drop right now. The Liberator also, not able to do a whole lot.
Oh man, MaSa, he's not getting any breaks here when it comes down to just trying to punish Welmu for playing in a semi-greedy kind of way. Against what MaSa's doing, you would assume that, you know, he would be the one that is taking control of the game. But the fact that Welmu put down that 4th base, he feels like he's in a pretty damn good spot here, Fair Dragon. Like, he's like, you can't touch me. There's really nothing you can do to me, and I'll defend on all fronts no matter what. At least that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, I really do feel like in the army composition that Welmu's been going for, it is an army composition that I think makes a lot of sense that he's moving out right now, because it's got a lot of the immortals, it's got a decent number of these adepts, and it's got blink stalkers to deal with a small number of liberators, not a large number. So he is looking to go for the kill move right over here, and eventually if he needs to, he can transition out off the economy he has. But MaSa, he's got to land some amazing Widowmine shots or something over here, and that doesn't really get a whole lot done.
Oh, I think that was more friendly fire. I don't even know how much. Oh, he just hallucinates a Colossus. That's like the banner meal for Protoss. Right in his face.
Yeah.
Saying, you have lost this game. I don't know if it's actually the case, but that is the message that Welmu is sending to MaSa right now. And this 3rd base is going to go down. This is a ridiculous play out of Welmu. Like, I don't even understand.
Losing the Warp Prism over there. The Widowmine's actually getting some good damage done.
Oh! 4th of July.
4th of July, but I mean, is it enough? Even with the SCVs pulled, I don't know if Welmu can actually be defeated over here. The Liberator's sieging up very aggressively, but they get focus fire down. The Widowmines are now getting taken out by the Observer over there, and they're not going to be able to get another shot at off the cooldown, but it's 2 bases for 4 also.
Yep, and that is the big thing you have to note about it. Welmu taking that 4th before doing this attack means that he's infinitely ahead. He took out the 3rd base of MaSa. Scan goes down to try to potentially take out that Observer, but at the end of the day, it's a game of economy, my friend. And he even tried to bait the Widowmine.
He could actually just use some adepts to fire off those Widowmines. Just send like 2 or 3 of them onto that ramp with the shade.
You have to be so precise. I love that play, though. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, these SCVs, they're also going to lose their lives, but I really do feel like MaSa is sort of just hoping maybe that he can get up to like a decent enough Liberator count and get a couple of good enough Widowmine hits that he can just move across the map.
Welmu doesn't warp in any more stalkers, of course. It's like, you know,
forget my macro.
I can do it.
Oh god.
This is not looking good for our North American Terran right now, as those Liberators are going to get targeted down here, Fear Dragon. I just don't think this is going to be going in the favor of him. Not today, at least.
Not at all. GG gets called, and Welmu going to be advancing on to the round of 8 for this IEM Shanghai Open Qualifier.
Yep. Well done. That was actually like a very scary game to witness. It's also, you know, like I understand a lot of Terrans are like, yeah, F Protoss, but like that was really, really strong Protoss macro play out of Welmu and just confidence and solid defenses against what it was that MaSa was doing.
Yeah.
Just brushed it off and said, hey man, that's dirt on my shoulder.
No problem. And
no problemo at all.
At this point, we are now sitting 6-1 with Europe versus North America. Like,
you know how Penguin
Cats and Penguin, they did the NA versus. I was just thinking about that.
Oh my god.
This is already a worse score than like those show matches that they did. Jeez. All right, well, we're gonna be hopping to a short little break, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be back in a little bit with more coverage. Please don't go anywhere, and we'll see you guys soon.